Our
Don't you open up that
agenda.
window.
Huh? The agenda.
Yeah.
Don't you let out that
I have it in front of me.
antidote.
I have it in front of me. I just
Popping pills is all we know. Yeah. Ain't it clear that's all we know. Yeah. Don't you open up that window.
Sorry, boys. Just give me 2 minutes. I'm just on Gumtree looking for new co-hosts with musical talents.
Hey. He is a talented musician. How dare you? What's up, everybody, and welcome to Don't Open the Window. As always, I am your host, Joey Dawood. On my left is Ronnie D.
What up?
On my right is Peter Madani.
Yes, sir.
And we have been gone for 2 weeks. We apologize for that. We've all had some, business and personal issues come up, but we've got a lot to talk about today. The NBA bubble has basically gone whilst we were away. We had the 8 playoff seeding games plus a play-in game. We've got a lot to talk about, so I'm just going to hit it right off. We're going to talk about the story of the bubble.
I got some.
All right, hit me.
How long have we known each other?
15 years.
15 years?
Yeah.
First of all, a video emerges of you apparently being able to dunk. I haven't seen my entire life.
Okay.
Second of all, I just want to say thank you. Just thank you for being a good mate. You've always been a good guy, and I appreciate it. And I've also found out that J.R. Smith hasn't yet to start a game.
What was the bet?
That was 100.
I owe Peter Madani.
That was a greenback.
I owe Peter Madani $100.
Thank you.
You
I think we both said that we didn't see J.R. Smith starting, right?
Yeah.
Bro,
I looked it up.
I legitimately thought he was going to start.
Yeah, I know you did.
Okay.
You know you did. You bet money on it.
Okay,
People don't bet money on losses.
Okay, we've got to talk about the story of the bubble. Damian freaking
Dame Dollar,
Lillard.
baby.
Dame Dollar.
Man, that guy has been... He was on a tear in the bubble.
Man, that Dame Lillard stank face is a classic.
Yeah.
That is all time.
Bro, he went... How many games did they win? They won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 games in the bubble, and they lost 2 because they had that playing game as well. So technically they went 7 and...
7-2.
No, they went 6-2 because they lost those 2, and then they had to win the play-in game. Bro, what can we say about this guy? He averaged... I think it was like 40 points per game. He had games of 45, 51, 61, 42. Bro, he was pulling up, like, just dribbling it up.
The logo.
Just pull up from the logo.
Well, that's because they're doubling him from like three-quarter court.
Bro, you know what I like about him is, one, just that fearlessness to be able to take shots like that.
Yeah.
But I also like he can defer as well. There were times in the game against, not the Memphis game, but the one before that.
The
It was
Brooklyn Nets game
the
to
critical
make
game,
it through.
The critical game to win.
Yeah.
And CJ started knocking some shots down, and we know CJ's dealing with some sort of broken back. I mean, that's another issue.
I broke my back. Spinal.
Shout out Mike Dathan.
I broke my back, spinal. Good Lord.
But yeah, I mean, he was happy for CJ to get a couple shots down the stretch, which I thought was cool to see.
Yeah.
And that whole team is absolutely balling. I think Dame Lillard's leadership skills is probably the most underrated part of his game.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, what?
No, I agree with you.
You give me the stank.
You gave him a little stank face there. Yeah, you did.
I just don't think it's underrated, but it's definitely a heavy core part of his game.
For me, I mean, I underrated it. Like, he's always been the guy that says the right things, and when people diss him, he claps back in a way that's like respectable. He never goes over the line.
Oh, dude.
But after all these years and accumulation of seeing him perform, step up in big moments, get buckets, be a leader through some pretty troubling times with Portland, like there was that season where they lost like 4 of their 5 starters.
I talk about this time and time again. When the Dame Lillard conversation happens, I always talk about when he lost 4 starters and still took him to the playoffs. I think it was Western Conference Finals.
No, bro, he took him to the semifinals. But still.
And he was like, we had no business being here, which they didn't. They lost LaMarcus Aldridge, Batum,
Wes Matthews,
and one more. Who's the fourth?
I don't know. It was probably their center at the time, probably Greg Oden or some shit. But legit, this guy, time and time again, he just as Peter said, his leadership just goes beyond bounds and everything like that. One person that I've seen him have a really heavy effect on is Carmelo Anthony.
Melo balling, man.
Bro,
Melo balling. He's playing his role perfectly.
Melo was out of the league. He was considered like lost cause. Let's never
Washed.
go near
They were
him.
saying he was washed.
Not only were they saying he was washed,
He
they
was
were just-
looking washed, though.
Yeah.
Oh no, I wouldn't say he was looking
He
washed.
didn't get a chance. He didn't
Yeah,
get a chance,
he had some big games.
He had a chance in OKC and Houston. in both
No,
those
he
teams.
did not have a chance in Houston. He had a game where he scored like 7 3-pointers and then he got released one game afterwards.
Yeah, I think
I think it was a personality thing.
I think it was a locker room issue. Because also keep in mind, like we know this very well. Melo got D'Antoni fired back at the Nuggets, right?
Yeah.
So
Knicks.
No, Knicks.
at the Knicks, yeah. So now love that. Yeah. So I almost felt like it was one of those things where D'Antoni was like, yeah, let's get Melo in, and it was like 2 days later, like, let's get rid of him.
Nah, but like, bro, Melo's come up. Melo's done exactly what he's supposed to do. He's playing great defense. He goes ISO when he needs to. He's not over ISOing it anymore. Like,
I get shocked when I see him have 3 assists.
What?
He's having 3 or 4 assists some games.
Bro,
He's there to score, though. He's there to score, and that's a good role for him.
But have
And
you
he's not necessarily ISOing that much, but they're putting him in positions where he's comfortable scoring the ball, like on the block.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially with small ball nowadays. If he gets a pretty slender shooting guard on him, that's light work for him down there.
100%.
Barbecue chicken.
Barbecue
And he's
chicken.
shooting the ball well. He's shooting the ball with confidence. He's playing a good all round game, and they would not be where they are without Melo.
100%. I think the 2 biggest X factors for Portland at the moment the biggest one is Nurkic. Beyond Melo, I don't care what anyone says. It's definitely beyond.
I love that guy,
This
man.
is
That
a
guy's a
whole
beast.
this is a whole different team now that Nurk is back. You know what I mean? You watch Nurk play. He's just a great big man.
He got 22 points, 21 rebounds.
He had
a bunch of assists.
17 boards in the first half. Damn.
He was going up against Jonas Valanciunas. It wasn't like
He's not a small boy, yeah.
he's not a small guy, and Jonas Valanciunas knows how to box out. Like,
Yeah, no. Nurk. The way that team plays with him back in, because he's not a one-dimensional big either. He's got a great IQ for the game.
Yep.
When you see him get the ball up in the high post, you see him watching for his cutters, watching for his slashes. He's great.
bro, if anyone's going to get a quadruple double in the NBA sometime soon, I'd put Nurk up there with like Draymond Green.
I actually think it could be a quadruple double. Yeah,
with blocks, he
He
collects
blocks,
some
rebounds, assists,
bulk
points. It'd be
blocks.
Nurk.
He
actually,
just
I
lost
was actually
his-
going to give it a hot take and maybe even say Bobo.
Bobo, calm down, you for a second. Calm down.
Hey,
I'm putting
Not in the,
microphones.
not in the playoffs, though. Not in
Wait,
the playoffs.
what number microphone is Ronnie right now? Is he number 2? I'm going to put him on mute for a second. Peter, talk.
yeah.
Yeah, okay, we can still hear Peter. Ronnie, you're on mute for a second.
No, I just wanted to say something. Nurk lost his grandmother to COVID.
Yeah.
So
R.I.P.
That's really sad.
that's really sad.
And he went out and he played a really good game. I read somewhere online that because he had a decision to make because I think his grandmother was dealing with some illnesses. I don't know if it was related to COVID or not, whatnot.
She had COVID and she was in a coma when the NBA bubble restarted.
Yeah, that's
And
super
he
sad.
flew
Wow.
back over. Her name was Hannah. May she rest in peace. It's unfortunate. We're still dealing with his disease, and it goes to show that it affects the big guys as well. It affects the NBA players.
Yeah.
It just
Kyle
goes to
Anthony
show.
Towns too. Don't forget, as well.
Kyle Anthony Towns as well. Back onto
Dame Lillard. Well, we need to talk more about Dame Lillard because
Okay,
this guy
just-
is insane.
Just one thing that I did want to touch on about Dame Lillard, the way that he had the effect on Melo's dropped a lot of weight. Melo looks like Melo in his rookie season.
Wait, are you trying to tell me that Dame Lillard is Melo's nutritionist? What are you trying to tell me?
No.
Melo was in the gym, bro.
No, but everyone, this is what
Trying
everyone
to get
says.
that contract.
This is what everyone says about Dame Lillard. His leadership goes beyond anything on the court. Like Dame Lillard's son calls Nurkic uncle. Bro, look at the effect that he's had on CJ McCollum and like the way that CJ McCollum worked on his shot. Enes Kanter has always
Wait.
said that Dame Lillard has been one of his favorite teammates. And
Well,
Enes
Melo
Kanter's
said the
been
same thing.
been
Yeah,
around.
he's a good
Melo's-
teammate for sure. Yeah.
Bro, the guy's just insane.
I don't know if you say
look, I don't know.
that Dame got CJ to work in his shot, bro. He's one of the purest shooters in the league.
Bro, CJ wasn't that good of a player until his 4th season.
Yeah, but
Yeah, but that's
the
the
one
quality.
thing he
That's-
could-
He was
that's
averaging
called-
6 points per game.
Yeah,
the
but
one thing
that's
he
called
could do is shoot the ball.
Yeah, that's
No, he
that's
couldn't. He could barely shoot the ball.
Bro, that's called developing in the NBA. Obviously, because the teammates are going to work on their shots together, but don't come out here and be like Damian Lillard is CJ McCollum's shooting coach. Fuck out of here.
I've got a big question for both of you, okay? And I've been debating this for a long time. Let's take Damian Lillard now in a vacuum, pull him out. You take him all the way back to 2014-15, and you trade him for Steph Curry. Do the Warriors win a championship?
Huh?
Do the Warriors win a championship with Damian Lillard
They still... Oh.
instead of Steph Curry? So what I'm going to ask is, who you picking? Dame Lillard, Steph Curry. It's 2014-15.
Golden State? Still Golden State?
It's still Golden State. You still got Klay Thompson, Andrew Bogut.
No, I'm staying with Steph.
Me too.
I'm staying with Steph.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, 100%.
I think Steph's
That
even
system.
more of a caliber above Dame.
Still.
That's how good Dame
Wow.
is. That's how good Steph is.
Wow, you really...
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I
Look.
think so.
The things that Damian Lillard...
I think they're really interchangeable.
Well, firstly, Steph was actually playing some defense, some good team defense, very good team defense. Actually.
You know what? And this is the thing. Everyone talks about people trying to exploit Steph, like, obviously Russell Westbrook. There's a bit of a...
They only exploit Steph based on size,
And
not
that's-
based on his actual ability to stay in front of his
size
man.
and athleticism.
Yeah.
I mean, Steph is still 6'4", like, and they were still trying to exploit Steph with Russell Westbrook. who's
Yeah.
Also Steph is 6'3", and I think Russ is somewhere between 6'3" and 6'4".
Correct.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. So now, what I'm saying is, and I know that a lot of guys say that in the league, they try to use him to exploit him, but he's a really smart defender.
He is.
If you
And
watch, if you watch Golden State games, he always picks the right time to double. He will always make that call to come up, double, show on the screens. He's got really active hands. Dude, he'll still get a couple of steals.
He always gets those weak side steals.
Yeah.
Always.
He
He always does.
Yeah, but the biggest thing, like the shooting ability between both of them is unbelievable. In fact, Dame might even have I know this might be a big call, but you don't see Steph taking the same shots that Dame is taking.
Nah.
Like no one has taken
he
these
can.
shots. He can.
I think he can. I think he can.
But
But
the
the
Damian
confidence,
Lillard,
but the
I think there was a stat the other day. He shot between 35 and 40 feet 125 times this NBA season, and he hit
What's that?
54
Yeah,
of those
something
shots.
nuts.
He's shooting like 40% or something ridiculous from
my
that.
Lord.
That's not normal.
It's not. But the biggest difference between Dame and Steph, and there's been no player in history to impact the game the way Steph has in this fashion, the gravitational pull that Steph has off the ball, running off down screens, Draymond playmaking up the top of the key.
Yep.
You got Clay and Steph running off screens. But what's the way Steph does it, man? It's you don't often see the fear in the opponent's eyes like when Steph's on the court. Like, I don't know, maybe you could compare it to Shaq. Like, seriously, you could.
Bro, that's a strong comparison
like-
because Shaq was as soon as like Shaq got the ball, he had three people
But I'm
guarding
talking
him.
to even before they get the ball.
most dominant player in the league.
No, but that's what Steph was.
Get the ball to the big man.
I'm a dugget. It's a barbecue chicken.
You guys are idiots. But I do agree with you because as soon as Steph starts running on
Great
the court,
take.
every single person is chasing him, and it's always eyes on Steph. It's like you lose Steph, you're going to get a bucket on you.
Game over.
But the problem is, as soon as you stay like on track with Steph, either Clay or KD was open. Like most
I
of the
got
time.
another thing as well.
Yep.
We have seen Damian Lillard on a tear. Who were the last three teams they played? Memphis, Brooklyn.
Yep.
Who else?
Dallas.
Dallas.
Yep. Philadelphia.
All woeful defensively. Those teams. I'm not taking away anything from Dame because you put the ball in the hoop that much.
You know what? Yeah,
But I mean, I would like to see him against a Clippers or even the Lakers. We're about to see that right now.
Well, he did go up against the Clippers,
Clippers.
and he, only scored 22, was 10 of 23 shooting.
And he missed those 2 free throws.
Missed those 2 free throws that Patrick Beverly was clowning him on.
Oh my God, Patrick Beverly, I can't stop.
Stop it, Pat Bev. I actually like Pat Bev though.
Oh, I hate Pat
No,
Bev.
look, you know what? I wouldn't.
You'd want him on your team.
I'd want him on my
I
team.
don't want him on my team.
He's like a Draymond. He's like a Draymond.
No, he's not like a Draymond. That's a terrible comparison. He's like a
He's like a Draymond. What are
he's
you
like a
talking about?
Mario Chalmers with an attitude problem.
Okay. Let me finish there. What he said is, I'd want him on my team. Draymond Green is one of those people who you'd hate to play against.
He's
him.
an instigator. He's an enforcer, defensive guy.
But you'd want him on your team because he makes good plays. Pat Beverly is not. When I say this, I'm not trying to say that Pat Beverly impacts the game the same way that Draymond Green does because it's not parallel.
They play similar roles on the team, though. Yeah.
Exactly. But Draymond Green is the heart and soul of the Golden State Warriors. Pat Beverly isn't that for.
I don't like Pat Beverly. I don't like his personality. I actually think he's toxic towards teams. Okay, Kawhi Leonard and Paul George basically have been like. They've ignored him and let him like run his antics and all that kind of shit.
No, Paul George got involved.
Whatever, bro. I don't like this shit.
He literally
commented on and you know what? He called up Damian Lillard afterwards and apologized. He was like giving him a mercy plea, like, please don't eliminate me from the playoffs again with that bye-bye.
Because that boy's good.
Okay, yeah.
He's got PTSD after last playoffs.
He apologized, but still, once again,
because he knows. He knows if Dame Lillard is pissed off.
He knows, but he wasn't thinking that when he got involved and Pat Beverly was doing his thing, like I said.
And then Dame went for 60, a 60 piece.
61 afterwards. That was not normal.
Yeah, I still think.
We're talking about the bubble, right?
No. You touched on something really good there, Pete. I'm sorry, I'm putting my jacket on.
You love to do the.
Then it got hot and then it got cold. What do you want me to do?
He does that, doesn't he?
Why are you shouting at him?
Why are you yelling?
Yelling. He's right next to you.
So, you basically said you want to see Pat Bev go up against. What's going on with my watch now? Okay, you said you basically want to see Pat. I'm always doing a lot. Not Pat Bev. Dame Lillard go up against a real defense.
Yeah, a real team defense too, because that Brooklyn team hasn't played a game of defense, nor has Dallas played a game of defense.
Not only that Brooklyn team, they're missing like 5 or 6 players.
They're competing, good on them. But I'm not saying he's not going to drop a 40 piece, or maybe he might have 15 dimes that game because they're double teaming him at half court.
Yeah,
I just want to see him do it against the best team in playoff schemes.
Well, he's got the best team now.
Yeah.
And this is my next question. Do Portland have enough to go up against the Lakers?
They'll win. They'll still maybe 1 or 2
They'll
games.
win 1 or 2.
1 or 2.
People love to jump on the hype train, the bandwagon. You're the biggest guy who does it. You love it.
How dare you?
The flavor of the week shit. You're always jumping on.
No, I don't. I've been on LeBron for the last 18 seasons. He ain't flavor of the week.
No, LeBron, but this is an example. We see a few good games from Dame Lillard, and now we think that he's the second coming. Like, let's calm down. The Lakers team are an elite team with a great roster. They're running. Maybe they haven't performed at their best in the bubble, but I think, based on the conversations we had previously on the pod, we all agreed that, they're just taking their time. They're trying to get others involved. There's not going to be games where Anthony Davis has 7 shot attempts. You know what I mean?
Legitimately. And so, everyone was talking about the fact that the Lakers had an underwhelming bubble performance, but the thing is, they already clinched first seed.
Yeah. So all they're doing is trying to get their reps. They're trying to get the new guys integrated.
You got Dion Waiters.
So let's all calm down with the Blazers beating the Lakers. If that happens, I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm not saying
anything is possible in the NBA.
And when you got a guy who can drop a 60 piece over any given night, you're going to have some difficulties. But, bro, they don't defend at all. They've got no answers for LeBron. AD, it's just a beautiful matchup for the Lakers.
I think
they'll dominate, and I think LeBron will shred those defenses.
So I was all for Portland last week when Dame Lillard was going off and all that kind of stuff, because Dame's got that dog in him, and that last game that the Lakers played Portland, Damian Lillard and not Anthony Davis, Hassan Whiteside both went off. LeBron wasn't really engaged. I'm not too sure if you remember this, but it was the game where that was the week that Kobe Bryant passed away, and it was the Lakers' first game back.
I do remember that game, actually.
It was a very odd game for the Lakers.
Strange game, yeah.
They just, LeBron looked like he was going to cry all game.
It affected the whole league, but I can only imagine what it would do to the Laker organization.
And it's still a conversation right now, every single game.
Yeah. So Damian Lillard, I think he dropped like a 40 piece that game or something like that. He had a really big game against the Lakers. That was the game that kind of got me worried. But then watching last week's games, especially against Brooklyn, especially against Memphis, Portland don't play any defense.
Nah, bro,
at all.
They don't.
One-on-one defense, they could kind of play a little bit of one-on-one defense. But that's it. They don't play any team defense. Nobody rotates.
Bruh, listen to their wings.
Yep.
Ready? This is from guard to small forward. Damian Lillard.
Not a good defender.
CJ McCollum and Carmelo Anthony. What defense do you expect these boys to play, bro? They haven't played any defense for their whole career. And I think, I think Dame can compete. when he wants to bring it. And I think Melo has spots here and there, but these are all three below average defenders.
Definitely. They're missing Trevor Ariza now. Zach Collins isn't a good defender either.
He's all right. He's a good all-round player. He's coming back. He's just come back from injury. One of my favorite players in the league. Love Zach Collins.
So
Great glue guy.
This is what LeBron does. And LeBron plays chess. LeBron doesn't play basketball. Okay. He basically goes out there and he goes, that's the weakest link. I'm going to attack that every single time. We saw him do it to Lou Will recently. We saw him do it to the Clippers recently when Lou Will and Trez were out. It was the first game back of the bubble and he wanted to prove a point again. The guy just picks up part defense and he goes, okay, switch, come here. Yep, give me that guy. I'm going to drive on him or I'm going to dish it to AD.
I want LeBron having minimum 10 free throws a game in that series.
Oh, the refs haven't really been calling it for him, but I do agree with you that they're just going to switch CJ.
A little bit more aggressive. Okay.
They're going to switch CJ. They're going to switch Damian Lillard onto him. They're going to, maybe even
I
Melo.
wouldn't be doing that. I wouldn't be doing that.
What do you mean?
Switching Dame Lillard and CJ onto Bron.
No. What he's saying is they're gonna put him in position. They're gonna put LeBron in positions where whoever's guarding those players is gonna screen and then they'll rotate.
They're just gonna do a big open.
I don't know why they do that now in the NBA though.
They do it heaps.
Instead of the guard fighting over the screen, they just
go under and they switch.
Automatically switch. I'm like, bro.
Well,
why do you always do that? And then you got your big in a bad position as well with the mismatch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but do you know what? It's I think it's with all these.
All right. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
Abby.
Yeah.
Actually, let's leave that in there. Anyways, Peter, continue.
Where was I?
You're talking about bigs getting switched onto.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why they're so willing to switch in the NBA. I feel like there's
because if you don't switch,
there's no pride in defending your man, staying in front of your man.
But this is the thing now. I think we're playing in a different league where there's so many offensive weapons beyond the arc that it gets to a point where if you go under that screen, you can't go under the screen when Damian Lillard's taking the shot.
Well, you saw that happen to Porzingis, and Porzingis got absolutely killed.
Porzingis as the big defender, he wasn't he was staying back in the lane defending the role, which is dumb.
He wasn't doing
that was
it well.
obviously Dallas's game plan because he did it multiple times.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
He doesn't have that much foot speed. I thought I
thought he was better.
Yeah. So typically in basketball, bro. I know, even for us, we've been hooping, and because so many kids now can just shoot. We pretty much get to a point where it's just every screen just switch. Just make sure you switch because at least if you're switching, you're showing straight away. You're not giving them that airspace to get that shot off.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the NBA is moving now, and that's why they call for their switches.
And that's where LeBron's going to kill Portland. So Lakers in 5.
I think Lakers in 5, maybe 6.
Yeah,
Dame pops off and LeBron has one of his lackadaisical games.
Dude. I mean, we don't really know the form of the Lakers. I don't see Dame at least not stealing one. I wouldn't be surprised if they got swept, but I still think that they'll still at least steal 1 to 2 games because man, we got a dog in Damian Lillard, we got Nurk, we got CJ, Collins playing well. I think they
Melo's playing well.
Yeah, I'm not even talking about Melo. I forgot Melo. Yeah, you know what I mean. So it's gonna be nice to watch Melo go up against LeBron in the playoffs.
He hasn't done it since
that'll be cool.
They haven't done it since it was the Heat versus Knicks, and I'm pretty sure the Heat swept him.
Yeah, they swept him, and that was actually not a bad Knicks team that year.
No, that wasn't a good Knicks team. That was the Jeremy Lin Sanity Knicks team that basically crept into the playoffs. Amari broke his hand by punching a fire extinguisher.
I'm thinking about that 52 wins.
That was the season after. That was the season after. But that season,
who they see in the playoffs that season after? Do you remember?
They saw in the first round. Oh man, you're really testing me here. They weren't the second seed. They were the second seed or the third seed. I think it was Atlanta, and then they went from Atlanta. No, they played the Celtics in 2012, 2013. They played the Celtics, and they beat the Celtics 4-1. It was the last year that Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce played for the Celtics.
They were
just 2012.
That was 2012-13. And then the next round, they went up against the Pacers, and that was when Melo got blocked by Roy Hibbert. It would have changed the game, but the Pacers ended up going through, and they went to the Eastern Conference Finals. And we know Miami Heat and LeBron James, they ended up winning it all.
Oh, the Heat.
Are we doing playoffs? Or we staying on the bubble?
We're staying on the bubble.
We're gonna move to something.
Ronnie sent me on a sidetrack there. So the next question is that I do want to ask you is, Devin Booker.
Yeah.
What do we think about him?
He's legit.
He's
But he's been legit.
He gets wet.
Bro. So the Phoenix Suns, they went 8-0 in the
Nice.
bubble,
Thank you.
and they still missed the playoffs. Okay? On a pure technicality, I still believe that it should have been Phoenix Suns versus Portland Trail Blazers, but what can you do? Monty Williams gave a really emotional speech afterwards.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. That was a great speech.
Bro, like, if you look at Devin Booker's games, like, from the bubble, 36, 29, 27, 30, 35, 20, 35, 35, 35, 27. This guy went off.
To be honest,
man.
I don't really care about that.
What do you mean you don't care about that?
They went 8-0. That's more impressive.
Bro, this is what I'm saying though. Like, he had games with 10 assists, 8 assists, 6 assists, 7
That's what-
assists.
that's what I'm saying. But because Devin Booker has put up these numbers, like he's been putting up these numbers.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is the difference is they are winning, which is great.
Yeah.
It's flashes of
But
brilliance.
no,
Why are they winning?
Because he's playing well,
And they're healthy.
I know
don't
why they're
think
winning.
it's just because of him.
I think it's because DeAndre Ayton's back.
And they're
That's
healthy.
that's a big reason.
That's
I think
the-
Ricky
that's a big-
Rubio is supremely underrated as a
And
point
they're
guard.
healthy.
Yeah.
Aaron Baines, a good leader in the locker room.
Bainesy. So they basically ran a team of Ricky Rubio, Devin Booker, Mikal Bridges, I'm pretty sure his name is.
Yeah, Cam Johnson at the 3, Mikael Bridges
At the 4, and then Aiden at the 5.
Yeah.
And then they had Cameron Payne, who came out of nowhere, who was playing
He's
for
got
like...
such an ugly game.
Bro, he was playing for like the Guangdong Tigers or something like that in China.
He can hoop. He's
can hoop.
serviceable. He's
No, he
serviceable.
couldn't hoop. That's why he was out of the league. He was playing in China last season. Okay, he got bloody released. He signed a 10-day with Chicago. They got rid of him. He signed a 10-day with the Raptors. They got rid of him.
Yeah, I thought he was
And then
gonna
all
be
of a sudden he comes to Phoenix and he starts dropping 12 points, 14 points a game off the bench. Like,
Yeah. I always, to be honest, I always thought Cameron Payne had potential.
Yeah,
I always thought he could be a good player.
I always thought he had
don't think-
potential as a good dancer, like backup dancer with Russell Westbrook. Like,
No. But see, and this is the thing. This is the thing. I think playing OKC kind of stifled his growth. You'd think that he'd probably he could improve a lot playing under Westbrook, etc. But I just don't think that system really worked for him. And I think I think we haven't seen the best of Cameron Payne yet. I don't want to discount him yet. I think he's shown flashes of brilliance here and there.
I think he's good, but I think his game is like
He's still raw. Still very raw.
unconventional game. He's like, do you remember Jordan Crawford?
yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
herky jerky style. And when
yeah.
you're coming off the bench doing that stuff, it's like it's risky for the coach to play you.
Well, that's why Jordan Crawford got cut as well.
Yeah.
He had some years in the NBA.
Yeah,
He had
but
some good years.
Hayes last year with the NBA, he was playing for the New Orleans Pelicans. I still remember this game. He had like a 35-point game or something like that. It was against the Warriors, so it was against a big market team. They just lost that game as well. That's when Lance Stevenson was also playing for the Pelicans. And then 2 days later, Alvin Gentry cut him because he was like, "No, I don't want him on my team." But basically, I just want to dissect Portland a little bit more. So these are the teams they played and they got their W's against. So their first team was Washington. Let's not count that for anything.
I feel like the actual teams itself,
Bro, they were good teams. Dallas,
but they don't mean that much because
Clippers,
if you got
Indiana,
if you're playing the Lakers and
Miami,
AJ's taking
OKC.
7 attempts, it don't really matter. The games that matter is when it got to the end and teams actually needed to win those games.
I see.
For
what you mean.
example, the Dallas game, that was huge.
That was
The Memphis game today, another big one. Those ones matter, but at the start, people, and especially when the top teams already clinched their spot, they had nothing to play for.
Bro, he hit that game winner on the Clippers. He's got that iconic like looking up moment now, like while sliding down. Bro, Damian Lillard, Phoenix Suns, they
So
got
many good memes.
they got a lot of potential for next season. I'm excited to see what they bring back, especially with DeAndre Ayton.
Aiton's good, man. He's a
Did you see his footwork?
yeah, he's good, bro. He's a good all round player. Next year, he's going to be in that conversation for one of the elite centers.
Yeah,
in
well,
the
and I
100.
think Phoenix would have had a much higher seed if he didn't get suspended for all those games.
Bro, they started the season off, I think it was 7-0 or 7-2.
That's what I'm saying to you. They actually
And then he got that 25-game suspension.
Yeah.
And then even when Aaron Baines was starting, they were still getting some wins. But then Aaron Baines went down, and then that's when it just went. Their season went to shit.
And that's what I'm saying. Like this team, like what they're doing, the whole 8-0 thing wasn't. I wouldn't say it was out of nowhere. I think that 8, though Book is our main guy, we're always looking at Book. There's always those X factors that change everything. I look at that in the same light as like a Nurkic. You know what I mean? Like it completely changes the way these guys play. Like you don't realize how integral they are because I guess all the casuals get stuck in the narrative of this is our main guy. So if you lose this player who's like an X factor, you should still be winning.
Yeah,
you know? Which is just not how it is. You can see Golden State Warriors sometimes played like Golden State still won without Kevin Durant, but when Draymond Green was missing, that was a whole different team.
Yeah, bro, I 100% agree with that because certain X factors on certain teams play certain roles.
And you know,
Look at the Lakers right now. The Lakers don't have Avery Bradley, who's their biggest dog on defense. Just chases like you. You're a Celtics fan. How many games of Avery Bradley's did you watch? You see his foot speed, the way he keeps up and everything
good.
like that.
He does exactly what the Lakers need them, which is to stay in front of point guards.
Yeah.
That's what he does.
And it still
It's
hurts
so
me.
different running Avery Bradley instead of KCP. Like KCP is a good player, but man, he does really well coming off the bench, not starting like Avery Bradley does.
Yeah, no. And I think, Avery Bradley also complements that LeBron style game. To see Avery Bradley, and I respect his decision not to play in the bubble or to play altogether for the rest of the season. But man, that I knew that was going to hurt us.
It definitely is. The Phoenix Sun roster, what do you think that's going to look like moving forward?
Very similar.
Do you think they're going to keep Frank Kaminsky? They're going to keep
Who
Darius
cares?
Saric? Everyone like that?
Sarge. Kaminsky's meh.
Frank the Tank, bro. Come on, Michael Jordan picked him like third.
Yeah, that's why he wasn't that good. Michael Jordan, stick to hooping because you don't know how to manage hoops. For sure.
He hasn't done anything spectacular just yet.
But yeah, he does have a trash franchise.
Did Devin Booker make All-Star this season?
No,
I think he got in on injury replacement.
Did he?
Yeah.
Potentially.
It was between him and Bradley Beal.
Back to the question. I don't think their roster makes that. I don't think they make that many changes because they got so many good young pieces that are developing. Yo, they didn't have Kelly Oubre. Mm-hmm. He was their second leading scorer, I'm pretty sure.
That is true.
Yeah.
Kelly Oubre's
He's like 17 points.
Oubre.
Plays defense.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
One of the swaggiest dudes in the league.
Definitely. But man, Phoenix Suns.
Is Book your number 2 MVP if we're talking bubble MVPs? Because I assume.
Well, the bubble MVP got handed out, and Damian Lillard
was
won it.
Dame. Everyone aligned with that.
Yeah,
Dame?
for sure. And I think so. I mean, actually, you know what?
It's hard.
It's a hard one because obviously Dame still ended up making it to the playoffs, which Book didn't.
Yep.
Phoenix went 8-0.
8-0.
They didn't get into the play-in game on a technicality, on a tiebreaker between them and Memphis.
That's sad.
And if we're talking,
I thought it was going to be like a little tournament, not just 2 teams.
Unfortunately, it's like just 8 and 9, and then if it's the double win from the 9th seed to the 8th seed.
yeah, look, I wouldn't have been opposed with either guy.
I would have picked Book.
Huh?
I would have picked Dame. But you know who else is knocking on the door? That young Slovenian kid, Luka Doncic.
Bro, I didn't think he played that well in the bubble.
What?
Like, he played well in the bubble, but like he didn't get as many W's as the other guys.
How many triple doubles he get?
I don't care how many triple doubles you get.
W's, not
Yeah, but still.
Yeah, okay, you could get a triple double, but if you keep, bro, he's got the highest usage percentage in the league.
Oh, does he actually?
What?
Does he?
He has
He's
super high
got
usage.
the ball in his hand most of the time. He's running the point, all that kind of stuff.
something-
He's got
like-
second now because it used to always be Harden until he got Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, but now it's Luka, LeBron, Harden.
Yeah, but Harden would
Giannis.
still be up there.
Yeah, Giannis would be up there now.
Yeah,
as
I
well.
think Luka's got the high. I don't know. I don't have it in front of me, but he is the highest in the league of possessions ending in like a pass or shot from them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bro,
Which makes sense because he's averaging on 30 and 10.
He's
so.
getting 20 triple doubles out here. Like,
Okay.
you gotta respect that.
I do respect it, but I still don't think he deserved the MVP over Dame
I
or
don't
Book.
think he deserved the MVP.
No,
over
I
those
think P
guys,
was
but-
just, that was an honorable mention.
Yeah, knocking on the door. The shit he's doing is insane.
Yeah,
man,
you
he's
want
a
to throw an
baller.
honorable mention out there? You throw it out to Karis LeVert.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Or
Yeah,
Garrett
that
Temple.
too, Yeah.
Yeah. What?
Garrett Temple. Nah. I just got to respect Garrett Temple because of the quote that he had for Damian Lillard.
I don't care. I don't care. That's Michael Jordan. I don't care.
That's CJ McCollum. That Dame Lillard. He got the ball. He got pulled up from the NBA.
Yeah, that was mad.
Bro, that was one of the coolest things. We'll take a break right there, and we will be back in just a moment. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. On my left, I've got Roddy D.
What up?
On my right, I've got Peter Madani.
Yo.
And we've got some big news out of New Orleans. Basically, the NBA bubble, everyone thought it was tailored to get Zion Williamson into the playoffs.
What do you mean thought?
It was.
What do you mean thought?
So they played the Kings twice. They played, a lot of the bottom feeding teams going into the thing.
Were the Kings even at the bubble?
Yeah. Bro, the Wizards were there too. This was tailored for New Orleans to basically get in there. They had like a home run, and Alvin Gentry shit the bed, and because of that, he has been relieved from his duties. I think the New Orleans Pelicans, I think they went 2-6 in the bubble.
Yeah, they're horrible.
Bro, this is what, and I'm like, I do go on my rants every now and then, and I do get quite angry. But Alvin Gentry, what the hell are you doing, man? Like, you had Brandon Ingram, you had Lonzo Ball, you have Josh Hart, you have Drew Holiday, you have Zion Williamson. You got 5 awesome core young players, okay, that were hungry and want to basically win, and he couldn't get them engaged enough to play a system. They weren't playing defense.
Step off Alvin Gentry,
No,
bro.
bro, he was playing like he coached like shit. Okay.
First of all, I don't know what.
Have you watched a single Zion Williamson game this year? A single Pelicans game this year? They don't know how to play defense.
It's a fucking 28 win team, bro.
No, they were not a 28 win team when they were all healthy.
It's still a 28 win team.
They're a 28 win team because Alvin Gentry made him a 28 win team. They would have been a lot better, okay, if he ran one defensive scheme.
At the end, first of all, calm the fuck down.
Yeah,
Second
calm
of
down.
all,
He's gone Stephen A on us.
I'm just pissed off.
It's preposterous.
We could have got LeBron James versus Zion Williamson in the first round.
Yeah.
bro. At the end of the day, the players got to go out there and compete.
Okay, first of all,
And they didn't compete because they weren't engaged.
Okay.
I don't want to play for a coach that doesn't engage me.
These are grown ass men getting paid millions of dollars. If they can't wake their ass up and get out of bed and be motivated to compete for the logo you're wearing on your chest, they need to take a look at themselves in the mirror and see what they're doing.
And did you really want to see the Pelicans over Portland right now?
Hell no.
Or Phoenix. These are both teams that are unequivocally better than the Pelicans.
But this is what I'm saying. So New Orleans could have been engaged. Okay, they could have gone 8-0 as well. They had the home run, and they weren't because of bloody Alvin Gentry. This is what I'm saying. Lonzo Ball even said it. He was like, "What the?"
Lonzo went out and said it.
Yeah, Lonzo said he was not engaged. You could see it.
Yeah,
but he didn't go out and call out his coach.
Yeah, he didn't call out his coach.
You can't do that.
Did he say he wasn't engaged because of Alvin?
You could tell he wasn't engaged because of Alvin.
Because of Alvin?
Bro, the ball's out of Lonzo's hands most of the
I don't
time. It
know.
should be in his hands at all
We
times.
need to get a tinfoil hat, maybe. Sounds like a conspiracy.
Nah, man, it's not a good
Yo, first
I'll
of
play
all,
with you.
calm down.
Yeah. You shouting at us a lot.
Yeah.
I'm pissed off. I'm pissed off because I think Lonzo Ball is such a great player, and he has been miscoached by 2 shitty coaches back to back.
What are you talking about? He was playing the best basketball of his career early in the year. He came back to the bubble and wasn't as effective.
Yeah, because of Alvin Gentry.
No.
Why is it because of Alvin Gentry?
Because Alvin Gentry was getting. Did you watch the Pelicans games, or were you just sitting there watching the Celtics?
No, I watched a little bit of the
You watched a little bit. You watched some highlights, I'm presuming.
No, I watched a bit of the games.
We'll get you your point.
I'm getting to my point. The ball was out of Lonzo's hands a lot, and he was putting it in Drew's hands and Brandon Ingram's hands to create. When Brandon Ingram, okay, he's at his best when he's got the ball in his hands and he's driving to the lane, not trying to create off the shot for everyone else around him. Okay. Same with.
Look, this is the thing, right?
Yep.
As a primary ball handler, I'm not opposed. If I'm trying to win, I'm not opposed to having Drew Holiday handling the ball. I'm not opposed.
I think
Drew's always done his best work when he's off ball.
no. I mean, he does. He can do it both. I think he's more of a 2. He's more of a 2 than a 1 these days.
Yeah.
And yeah, I agree with you. I think the ball should be in Lonzo's hands somewhat.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, bro, you can't put 100% of the blame on the coach. And that's kind of what you get. That's how I'm interpreting what you're saying. These guys got to go out there and play. They had a home run schedule.
Yep.
There's no excuse for them not to compete.
Well, they lost their first game to Utah on basically nail biter. Okay, they won their second game against Memphis. Okay, let me just pull this up properly.
They got enough guys to compete.
Yeah.
If they were playing as hard as the Blazers, for example, I think we'd be having a very different conversation right now.
But
You'd
who's-
probably be lobbying for
but who's-
Alvin Gentry Coach of the Year.
Yeah, but who's their Damian Lillard? Who's their CJ?
They got Brandon Ingram. He
They
can
got
get
Bra-
buckets.
Bra- Bra-
Drew
Bra-
Holiday
Bra-
can get buckets.
Brandon
Zion
Ingram-
hasn't played, obviously, but he can come in and do his thing.
Brandon Ingram is really coming into his own. I think that was a good thing to see.
Yeah.
Bro, how do you lose to Sacramento? How do you lose to San Antonio?
San Antonio wasn't playing that bad.
Yeah, San Antonio.
They
played
lost
good.
to Sacramento twice. Okay, and then come on, man. You got to be better than that. You got to engage your team. better.
I was just saying Spurs weren't even that bad. Spurs played okay in the bubble.
Okay, but did you see the game the Clippers up against the New Orleans Pelicans? I think I was watching this with you. Was I watching this with
were
you? And you
watching
saw,
it.
and JJ Redick was sitting down just
On
like
against slapped.
staring into the distance.
Yeah,
Bro,
that-
they got down by like 40, 45 points at one point. Like, man, and this is what I've said. This is what I was saying. I even said this earlier in the year. Alvin Gentry, you got to install a defensive system in that team. They had no defensive system, and they've got good defensive players. Lonzo is a very good defender.
They should be an elite defense. Drew Holiday, I just saw Jason Tatum on a podcast, on JJ Redick's
Yeah.
podcast a few days ago, saying that the best guard defender in the league is Drew Holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
wow.
they got Lonzo, Drew, Derek Favors can play D.
Yep.
Ingram has the tools to be a plus defender. Zion will be a good defender when he actually plays the game.
Yep.
They should have been a good defensive team. But bro, you can't put full share of the blame on Alvin Gentry.
Yeah.
He's a very well respected coach, beloved in the NBA. So I feel like what you're saying is a bit of rubbish right now.
Bro, he's had 16, 17, 17, 18, 18, 19, 19, 20. Okay, so he's had 4 or 5 years with these New Orleans Pelicans, and they have had one winning record in that time.
Yeah.
Bro, come on, man. You got to be better than
I'm not saying he doesn't deserve to be fired, but I think you need to slow your roll with like putting all the blame on him.
Bro, he's a good assist. No, I get to put the blame on him because he had a full year to install a good defensive system. They didn't install a good defensive system. Okay, he had a full
What's
year.
their system then?
Bro, have you seen them play defense?
I mean, I couldn't tell you what defense they play.
They don't
What is
play
it?
any. They don't play any defense. They don't switch. They don't call out rotations. They don't do any of that. You know when you watch the Lakers
Come
or
on,
the
bro.
Celtics? No, do you know when you
It's
watch?
like you got some inside information,
Bro,
man.
do you know when
You're
you watch
watching
the
same
Lakers?
games as everyone else?
Yeah, I am watching the same games as everyone else. When you watch the Lakers or the Celtics play defense, okay? There's always someone helping. There's always someone calling out something. There's always someone switching. There's always a big body. There's smart coordination. There's some sort of triangle being run. If you don't have this guy, I'm going to rotate to him or something like that.
Defense comes down to effort and executing the game plan. It's as simple as that.
And obviously, Alvin Gentry didn't execute any game plan with these guys.
Yeah, but the players got to go out there and do it. With that being said, they might get a new coach in who breathes some life into that club, gets them competing properly, and maybe it'll be a good decision. But sometimes that's the way coaching is. You might have a really good coach. For example, Tom Thibodeau, if he comes into the Knicks and they don't perform, it could be the same sort of scenario.
But Tom Thibodeau has never been like he's been a pretty good coach, but he's not a Popovich.
No, but who the hell else is a Popovich?
Who else
bruh?
is a Popovich?
Okay.
Outside of Phil Jackson.
No. I'm
who
trying.
didn't get a.
He's not a
coach.
Spoelstra.
Huh?
He's not a
Yeah,
Spoelstra.
Spoelstra is okay. Yeah, I'll give it a Spoelstra.
I think
who else?
Thibs is a really good coach. I think Alvin Gentry's lower than Thibs.
Yeah.
In terms of
Thibs isn't a Brad Stevens
Okay. Yeah, no best
I don't maybe.
or Budenholzer. Okay. Oh, actually, no.
Rick
He might be on the same level as Budenholzer.
Rick Carlisle.
Yeah, so he's a
Rick Carlisle is a pretty good coach.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so is Thibs.
No,
So
man. No, look. Anyways, Alvin,
You really fuck, man. Alvin Gentry is like the nicest guy in the world as well.
you could be not. I'm not hating on his player personality or anything like that. I'm just
He's like really well respected. You hear any of the coaches speak about him, they always speak very highly.
The coaches always speak highly about each other, except for that bloody what was his name again? The one that Avery Johnson.
You try and find a few clips of people speaking highly of Jim Boylan.
Okay, so
We
Jim
gotta go in
Boylan.
the Vatican tunnels and like.
Yeah, the players love Alvin Gentry as well.
Yeah, Jim.
Well, I don't understand what you're saying.
What I'm saying is he had a home run. Okay.
He had a home run roster.
No,
So-
he had
so
a home run
schedule.
roster and a
Schedule.
home run
Schedule.
schedule. Okay, if any team should have gone 8-0, it should have been the Pelicans. Okay,
Yeah. Okay.
and
I get that.
man, look, you know what? They should have gone 7-1. They had the Clippers. Okay, bro, they really dropped the ball. They really dropped the ball. They put Zion on limited minutes for no reason. The guy didn't have an injury or anything like that. He just wasn't at the bubble in time because he had some personal issues. They didn't run.
That's not the coach's fault.
What do you mean?
The GM and ownership make those decisions, not the coach.
Bro, if the coach wants a guy to play, the coach wants a guy to play.
Okay, but
That's
the
not
go-
how
We've
it
seen that.
works.
We've seen that happen multiple times.
Joey,
The coach
Joey,
No,
Joey. If a
it's
coach
not
wants
true.
his job, he's going to limit those minutes and make sure that player does not get injured, so he can keep his job.
Man's got fired anyway.
bro got fired anyway. He should have stood up and he should have said, "No, I'm going to play Zion." Okay.
You can't do that, bro.
It's not how it works.
It's just not
That's
how it works.
In fantasy
And-
land,
and for-
maybe
and
in
for-
your
Thibodeau,
brain.
do you know what? No, Thibodeau did that.
And for what?
Thibodeau did that in Chicago until Chicago blew itself up. Okay.
Yeah, but bro, he was coaching there for years.
No,
and,
but
he had
bro,
taken them to the Eastern Conference Finals. They had a lot of success.
They wanted to make Jimmy come off the bench, so then Jimmy couldn't demand a higher contract because they knew how hard Jimmy Butler was playing. Okay, did you know that about the front office of Chicago?
Yeah, it's messed up.
It's messed up. Okay, but
But what
Thibs
does that,
said
what does that have
no.
to- yeah, but bro, that's not realistic.
What do you mean?
You're asking the coach to go against his boss, basically.
Yeah, you stand up for yourself when you know you've got a chance to make the
But
NBA
these
playoffs.
decisions aren't made. They're made in conjunction with the coaches, but they're made by the medical staff, the ownership, the GM.
Yeah,
they make
trust me. That's a collective decision.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
a collective.
If you're
And,
decision.
and you say,
if you're
okay,
gonna play
this
Zion,
is how much
if you're going to
Zion's
play,
playing.
say Zion limited minutes, okay, you don't play him in 4-minute spurts or 3-minute spurts or anything like that because you can't get a feel for the game. You
Bro,
don't.
they're much more worried about his longevity and health and success of his entire career
Yeah, because
than
look,
what he does in season one on a borderline playoff team.
and it's not even a borderline playoff team, dude. Like, let's be fucking real. It's
They're a
full
28-win team.
coming into the bubble. They're a fucking 28-win team. You like
They
you sound
should've-
like my brother. My brother's like, oh, the Pelicans could. Do you think the Pelicans could upset the Lakers? I'm like, no, they're a fucking 28-win team.
They couldn't upset the Lakers, but bro, they could have like that. That's big money right there. They just lost the NBA a lot of money.
Yeah, so what, dude? You know what? Like, honestly, let's see what they do next year.
So this is what I want to touch on as well. Okay, this
see
is
what
another thing
next
I want to
year.
touch on. So
Fuck it.
No. So
You owe Alvin Gentry an apology as well.
I don't know Alvin Gentry shit. I can't believe I just cussed. So this is another thing I want to touch on. The West had
Cute.
I just cussed.
Do you have a swear jar? Let's get a swear jar.
I hate you both so much.
I think shit.
The West had 13 teams come in. Okay, the East had 9. Should there have been a Sweet 16 tournament this
No,
year?
because I'm a Boston fan and I want their East as weak as possible. That is the only reason I've been
Bro, you
opposed
still-
to the Sweet 16.
No, but you still got
Otherwise,
Philly.
it makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense, but yeah, I'm not backing that because I
how
want,
much of a cakewalk is that fucking is that roster for? Yeah,
the top of the East, the top 4 teams are usually pretty competitive.
but what I'm saying is,
Top 5 is good.
but that trajectory of Lakers, like who Lakers have to see after,
It's
yeah.
tough. The first round, apart from Philly, that what Boston has,
Yeah.
like you're not worried about Orlando. You're not worried about Brooklyn, despite them competing.
Yeah.
We can't compare them to the bottom 4 teams in the West. Like
Yeah.
the bottom 4 teams are a lot better.
I would go as far to say that the Lakers now have a harder path to the finals than the Clippers do.
Definitely.
Lakers got Portland, then after that they got OKC versus Houston, whilst the Clippers have Dallas, and then they have whoever's wins between Denver and Utah.
Yeah.
Like playoff basketball, I would much rather see Denver than I would rather see OKC or Houston. Bro, Chris Paul.
Utah don't deserve to be there.
Yeah.
No, bro. Utah were like the 3rd seed when they were healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking back on it, I think, like, how injured was the Western Conference last year?
Yeah,
Key players on teams.
they started to get pretty injured. Like, you know, you lost your Nurkic, you lost your for Portland. Who else? Dallas. They lost their big Dwight Powell. Like there's been quite a few injuries in the West.
Porzingis was out to start.
Porzingis
the
was
year.
out for
Yeah,
most of
Porzingis
it.
was out for a while too. Yeah.
Like I
agree.
think if we look at the Western Conference next year, I'm not saying Utah won't be a playoff team, but they're not going to be in the top. They're not going to get home court.
Bro, I think there should have been a Sweet 16 this year and just this year only because you had so many teams out west that were competing for a spot and they had such limited time to get in there. And then they brought the Washington Wizards along. Bro, the Washington
That's
Wizards
one team I didn't watch.
had a worse record than the Charlotte Hornets. Okay, like
Did you
5
see
games
that,
in.
Ronnie?
What?
So 5 games in, Wizards had enough left losses that they had a worse winning percentage than the Charlotte Hornets, who weren't invited to the bubble.
That's mad, eh?
No, that's terrible.
That's a
joke.
It's an interesting stat.
It's a
But
joke.
the Wizards have no one.
No,
I like their young kid though, Rui Hachimura.
But if they were going to do the 8 versus the 9, like you should have at least had an 8 versus the 9 in like one of the teams from the West have a chance. That way we would have got Phoenix maybe in there, or Memphis.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
But I would
I'm
rather
sorry.
see Phoenix take. Bro, imagine this. Imagine instead of Orlando Magic taking on the Bucks 1 versus 8, it would be Giannis Antetokounmpo up against Devin Booker. Like, how much more fun would that have been?
That would have been cool.
That would have been really cool. Eric Bledsoe versus his old team. Bro, that would have been mad.
It's a great take. Slightly complicated, but it's a great take.
Hell with both of you. All right, guys, we've opened up the window plenty. Tune in next week or tomorrow or, I don't know, sometime this week. We're going to be dropping another episode. Peace.
Peace.
Later.